What's up, crypto legends? The price of Bitcoin is currently getting a pretty aggressive pump. I want to talk about the other live stream that we did the other day, me and 𝗕𝗏𝘆. We talked about a major level of resistance here, which is that first dead cat bounce, lower high, to get a nice rejection to the value area high of the range. This happened perfectly, as you can see with the price action. This lower high right there being claimed and getting that pretty decent pullback. This was mentioned. We look at the setups, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We talk about the highest probability scenarios for scalping and day trading. Now today, we are getting the price of Bitcoin absolutely exploding to the upside. We're going to talk about what we need to see here in the next coming hours, possible trading setups that I do see available, and we're also going through some very important news that is going on worldwide, guys. Let's dive in here straight into the chart. First of all, letting you know, Bybit is my favorite trading platform. You do have an insane bonus with the links down below in the description. Of course, if you cannot trade on Bybit based on KYC, you have bluffing and also 𝗬𝗫, which are no KYC, just with an email and password. You can start trading in no time. Let's dive in here, guys, because yes, we have had a pretty nice pump today on the price of Bitcoin. We are currently getting a little bit of resistance right now. We are tackling that level. We could be breaking through. This level over here is a daily level and a naked point of control. When we do take a look at the session volume profile, we did have a pretty nice consolidation here on Friday. Now, this is where we are heading right now, getting a little bit of a reaction. We are just tackling this level with that daily level as well. When we go to the daily chart, what we can see is that we have that daily close and open that we're just hitting right now. Now, this zone is resistance. We can see it on the local time frame, right? When we go to the 3 minute, when we go to the 1 minute, we are just hitting that level. We're getting a little bit exhausted right there. This was a very, very aggressive short scenario here, just by tapping the daily level, quick rejection of a few $100. Very, very aggressive, okay? When we are pumping like this, you want to be very careful with shorts until you form a range, and then of course you are seeing the exhaustion and you can speculate on the reversal. Right now, we're trying to tackle this zone. No doubt it could get choppy. No doubt that we could reverse a little bit. I'm going to talk about the possible scenarios. If we do get a pretty decent pullback now in the next coming hours, just for example, and then we come back up to this range and we try and break through the highs that we've just formed during the last hour, no doubt that this could be a double top scenario. We love double tops and double bottoms. They are great to get into trading positions and manage risk very well. We could be getting a pullback and possibly trying to break through here and then fail to do so, and that would trigger a possible short scenario. Now, to get into a long position, when we're zooming out here from this range, if the price starts dropping very aggressively, then of course I would be very, very concerned in getting into a long position. We've got a series of higher lows right there that have not been hit during the last few days. Depending on what kind of price action we do get on the corrective move here, I would be aware of getting into a long position. We need to get a consolidation at certain levels of support. We've just had a huge, massive pump here. When we take a look at the volume profile, the main reason of this pump, we know what happens when you have a major drop not leaving levels of consolidations. You can just pump straight through that level, as we've just seen during the last few hours. So getting a pullback right now, we would have to consolidate, because I'm very much aware that the price could just sweep all of that pump in a matter of a couple of hours. So we want to be aware of the pullback. If we start consolidating, finding a sign of weakness of the bears, forming a little bit of a wedgie pattern, then we can speculate that we're going to form a higher low and get the bounce. But if we start dropping aggressively, we really don't have big major levels of support on the chart, just like we did not have any levels of resistance after this major drop. This is why we just blasted through this range, because we were lacking of volume here. There's no volume after this major drop, and we just blast through here just in the last few hours. The first level of resistance that we are hitting right now is because of the daily level and that nice consolidation. These consolidation levels where we do have that high volume node on the session volume profile is where we are starting to see resistance. So yes, this zone is actually a big resistance level. We can see it on the chart. It's a very aggressive short position. You can manage risk very, very well with your stop loss above the high. We could get a corrective move and come back up and tap it. And if we do reject, then then I would see the possibility of this forming basically exhaustion, very similar to the trade setup that we looked here on Friday, looking for that double top right there. Bang, we hit the high and we got the pullback. This is very, very similar. This is a zone of proven resistance, as we can see with the local price action. Now let's just speculate that the price is going to break through from this level, okay? We're just getting a small little reaction right now. No big major pullback, no big major double top or anything. We just blast through and continue to the upside. Now, these lower highs are very interesting. Just going to zoom out on the 15-minute time frame. I'm going to explain why these lower highs right there are very, very interesting. When we take a look at Fibonacci from the highs here created on last Monday to the pivot low right there, we have the 618 exactly where we have these lower highs. Very interesting zone to create a local swing failure pattern right there. However, we need to be aware that if we are shorting a major pump, we need to manage risk accordingly. We don't want to get into a swing short position or any of that because we're just pumping very aggressively. You might just get one quick little pullback, acceptable for a scalp to get support at that daily and the naked point of control from this consolidation. And you could just form a higher low right there. This could definitely be also a long position. Get that bounce from the daily and the naked point of control, possibly to come all the way up to the highs again and attempt a breakout. So this is kind of going to be a short into a possible long right there if we do get a nice reaction into basically taking profit at the highs. If you create a double top right there at the 618, it's going to be acceptable for a short scenario. This could be the top right there, and we could be correcting in the next coming hours after we see this price action. Of course, this is a lot of speculation, okay, because we could be just hitting this level and then just get a major drop here after hitting that 618, okay? So if we consolidate at this level daily, naked point of control, start forming a little bit of a descending wedgie scenario with double bottoms, it's an acceptable for a long position to come and claim the high. If it just falls down from here, then obviously we're not doing anything. If we suddenly start breaking through in the coming hours, not getting any type of swing failure pattern from this 618 Fibonacci of this drop, and we do not get any reaction, no rejection, and we blast through, we do have a weekly and a daily level at $64,000, and we have the 7/8 Fibonacci right over here. This could potentially get a reaction, no doubt. I like these lower highs. Why? Because they're in confluence with Fibonacci levels from this drop of the last week. So these are levels for a quick scalp short, no doubt. If we do blast through, we hit the 7/8. Possibly this could get a nice little scalp short, okay, down to the weekly if we break above that weekly and daily at sitting at $64,000. So take it as a scalp. This is still pumping aggressively. If we are going to get that short scalp right there, be aware that that weekly could maintain our support. If we come back up and test the highs after the swing failure pattern, we are looking for that double top. Well, I say we, but I will be looking for that possible double top right there if we do test the highs again from that 7/8 and this lower high, okay? Some scenarios that I'm looking at if we blast through, no doubt that we are already hitting resistance here at this daily level and the naked point of control from the consolidation of Friday. Best scenarios here, like I said, pull back, come back up. If you fail to move to higher levels and you're just continuing to form lower highs, there's a potential double top scenario right there for a nice day trade pullback in between today and tomorrow, right? If we just blast through from here, these are the next levels I am looking for a reaction. And if it just continues pumping like crazy, I will be not taking any shorts because of course, you know, the price is just pumping very aggressively. No major reactions. We know we're not creating any swing failure patterns. If we're just pumping and pumping, not going to be shorting here, okay, as we're pumping. Longs are acceptable, like I said, if you do get it above the level, this daily level and naked point of control, as we do hit this lower high and possibly get a rejection, if we come back down to that daily and that naked point of control from this consolidation, it could act as support. It is an acceptable long position, would be waiting for a reaction and managing risk accordingly to get that bounce back to the highs, okay? Not much more has to be said here. In a nutshell, level to level trading, waiting for the levels to react and take those trading decisions. Let's dive in here into some interesting news. We do have money printers are turning on. We can see the uptrend that we formed during the last several weeks, and we can see Japan taking the lead. The money printer in Japan has gone absolutely crazy during the last few months, taking the lead right now above China and Canada. It looks like that the US is just about to reverse here, as you can see. So we're kind of bottoming out. Looks like money printers are going to start turning on in the coming weeks, which will be, of course, bullish for Bitcoin stocks, right, in general. If we do take a look at the adoption from Bitcoin and the internet, we can see that Bitcoin is taking the lead. Now, the internet adoption just happened in a matter of a decade, very, very fast from the early 90s to the mid 2000s. We can see how from just, 10, 20 million people using it, going all the way up to 1 billion in a matter of 10 years. Similar wave, similar scenario here. We can see the adoption on Bitcoin here in the dark black, taking the lead. Now, if we're going to start seeing over 1 billion people in a matter of 5-6 years from now, we only seen just round about 300 million. So that would be triple from what we are seeing in users of Bitcoin right now. If we are going to see triple users in 5-6 years, no doubt that the price is going to increase at least 3 times, right? So if we are trading at the $60,000 range, if we increase that by 3 times in 5 years, the price of Bitcoin should be trading just under $200,000, maybe above, but definitely above $100,000 if we're going to see triple of the users, if we do continue this adoption curve from the internet, right? Taking a look at another thing here, El Salvador releases new website that keeps track of their national Bitcoin. We can see their holdings, 5,748. They're just accumulating and accumulating, and they are continuing to accumulate. As you can see, just in the last 7 days, accumulated 8 Bitcoin. They are strong believers in Bitcoin, and they're adopting it very, very well, being the first country, of course, with 𝗖𝗵 Bukele being really the first president in adopting Bitcoin for their country. GBTC weekly outflows are slowing significantly. We can see how the outflows are basically going down and down and down. So not much selling pressure coming from GBTC, which is obviously good for the mid-long term. Very important news. Tomorrow we do have PPI and Federal Chair Powell speech. And on Wednesday, we do have CPI core inflation rate. Very likely going to see some volatile moves during these news events. So stay cautious with your trading. I'll be doing a live stream later on. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.